A caller to Sydney's 2 Gigabytes has revealed he owns almost 300 rental properties as he argued against a political call to freeze rents for 2 years amid Australia's current cost of living crisis. Speaking to Ben Fordham on Sydney's 2 Gigabytes this morning, a caller known only as David said that he owns 283 rental properties, but defended himself saying he bought his first one when he was just 17. "I've worked hard for that," he said. "I bought my first property when I was 17 and my mother had to sign the paperwork because in those days you had to be 21. Read more. Homeowner left with shell after building giants collapse. After his initial surprise, Fordham said he doesn't blame David for getting ahead, given that he too has invested in the property market. "I don't begrudge you for one single moment, but I was expecting you to say 2 or 3, Fordham." The conversation was sparked after Queensland Greens member for Griffith, Max Chandler Mather called on the government to introduce emergency rent freeze to ease pressure for tenants. "We've got families sleeping in their cars, workers unable to afford a home near where they work, people being evicted from their homes because they can't afford 20% rent increases, and the government's just sitting on their hands when they have the capacity to intervene and stop the worst of this crisis," Mr. Chandler Mather said. In the past 12 months, rents in capital cities have grown 7 times faster than wages. David called into the program to argue against Chandler Mather's proposal. He said he always aims to be fair with his renters, and if he's happy with a tenant, he will modify the rent as much as he can afford to. Read more. Ricciardo announces bombshell McLaren split. The thing that people must remember: when you work, you have a super. A super pays about 9.5%, he continued. "I don't have a super. My rental income back to me last year was 3.1%. David claims he paid the Queensland government nearly $7,000 a property per year in land tax. Thus, he suggests if the government do initiate a freeze for renters, the local, state and federal politicians should also freeze their incomes to make it fair. Rental freezes have occurred in the past, with the Menzies government introducing similar bans in the 1940s. More recently, Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews instigated a freeze in 2020, when the state was suffering from COVID-19 restrictions and lockdowns.